In this video, we're going to take a look at exam revision for expanding triple brackets. So what we're going to do here is just run through some exam style questions for expanding triple brackets. We don't really need any more of an introduction here, so let's get started with question 1. So for question 1, we're asked to expand and simplify these three brackets here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to pick two of these brackets to begin with and just multiply those out, okay, and just expand those two brackets. Now it doesn't actually matter which of the two brackets you pick here. I like to work from left to right, so I'm going to pick the first two brackets, multiply those together, and then simplify. I'm going to do x minus 1 times x plus 2. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use method 2 from the previous video, so our introduction video, and I'm going to use the grid method in that case. Okay. If we expand these here, I use the grid method, I'm going to get x and minus 1 along the top here. And then down this column here, I'm going to get x and positive 2. We get x and 2 there. Okay. So perform the multiplication here. X times x will give me x squared. X times minus 1 is minus x. 2 times x is 2x. And finally 2 times minus 1 is minus 2. So if we simplify this here, I'm going to get x squared. I don't do anything with that, so that's simply x squared. I've then got 2x minus x, so that's going to give me positive x. We get plus x there, and then finally minus 2. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this quadratic here and multiply that with my final bracket. We've got x squared plus x minus 2 times x minus 3. Okay, so again, in this case, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use the grid method. I'm going to get x squared, I'm going to get plus x and minus 2. We just box this off here. And then down this column here, we're going to get x and minus 3. We get x and minus 3 there. We'll get something that looks like this. All I need to do now is find the multiplications here. So x times x squared would give us x cubed. That's x cubed there. X times x would give me x squared. And then finally, x times minus 2 is minus 2x. Minus 3 times x squared would give me minus 3x squared. Minus 3 times x would give me minus 3x. We get minus 3x there. And then finally, minus 3 times minus 2. So just be very, very careful here with your minus signs. Minus 3 times minus 2, that will give us positive 6 there. Okay, so we get positive 6 there. What we need to do now is just simplify here. Well, I'm going to get x cubed. We can't do anything with that. I've then got minus 3x squared plus x squared. Remember in the introduction, we did this little diagonal here just so we could easily see what we were simplifying. So minus 3x squared plus x squared, that would give us minus 2x squared. We've then got minus 3x plus minus 2x, or in other words, just minus 3x minus 2x. That's going to give me minus 5x. And again, you can do the diagonal here if you find that makes it a little bit easier to see. And then finally, we've got this 6 here in the bottom corner, and we can't do anything with that. Okay, and there we have it. So that's our cubic there that we get when we expand these three brackets together. And that gives us our solution there to question 1. Moving on to question 2 now, we're asked to expand and simplify y minus 4 to the power of 3. So on the face of it, we can't see the three brackets here because we're writing this bracket here now to the power of 3. But in that case, if I write this as an actual product, what I've got then is y minus 4 times y minus 4 times y minus 4. Okay, so I now need to expand and simplify these three brackets here. Okay, so again, using the same method that we did for the previous question, I'm going to pick two of these brackets, but obviously with them all being the same, it obviously doesn't matter which two we pick. So finding y minus 4 and y minus 4 together here, we'll just do that underneath here. y minus 4 times y minus 4. Well, if I use the grid method again, we'll get y and minus 4. And again, obviously, we'll get y and minus 4. If you get anything other than y minus 4 for the first two here, you've done something wrong. So, performing the multiplication here, y times y is y squared. Y times minus 4 is minus 4y. Same again here, so minus 4 times y, minus 4y. And then finally, minus 4 times minus 4, that would give us positive 16 there. So again, just be careful with the signs. We get positive 16. So if we just simplify this here, I've got y squared minus 4y minus 4y. That would give us minus 8y. And then we've got positive 16 here, which we can't do anything with. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this quadratic here, multiply that with my last bracket. So I've now got y squared minus 8y plus 16. And then we times that by our last bracket here of y minus 4. Okay. Again, I'm just going to use the grid method here to do this. I'm going to get y squared minus 8y and positive 16. We should have just about enough room here, I think. I'm going to get y and minus 4 there. So y times y squared, that would give me y cubed. Y times minus 8y, that would give me minus 8y squared. Y times 16 would give me 16y. We've then got minus 4 times y squared, so that's minus 4y squared. Minus 4 times minus 8y. Again, just be very careful with the signs here. So minus 4 times minus 8y, that will give me 32y. We get 32y there. And then finally, minus 4 times 16, that will give me minus 64 there. Okay, so minus 64. What I need to do now is just simplify this here. Well, I've got y cubed. We can't do anything with that. We get y cubed. I've then got minus 4y squared minus 8y squared. So we just do the diagonal here. Make it clear what we're doing. That would give me minus 12y squared. Minus 12y squared. We then got 32y plus 16y here. That will give me 48y. Plus 48y. And then finally, minus 64 here. Okay. And there we have it. So that's our solution. So if we expand and simplify these three brackets here, we get this cubic here. Okay. And that gives us the solution there to question 2. Taking a look at question 3 now, we're asked to expand and simplify these three brackets here. So again, I'm just going to start by expanding the first two brackets together. So taking x minus 4 and 2x minus 3. So if we expand these together here, again, I'm just going to use the grid method to do this. I'm going to get x and minus 4. And then down this column here, I'm going to get 2x and minus 3. Okay, so just drag that down as well. So now 2x times x, that would give me 2x squared. 2x times minus 4, that would give me minus 8x. Minus 3 times x, that would give me minus 3x. And then minus 3 times minus 4, that would give us positive 12. Okay, so we get plus 12 there. So now if we just simplify this here, I've got 2x squared. We get 2x squared. We've then got minus 3x. Minus 8x there. That's going to give me minus 11x. We get minus 11x, and then finally positive 12 there. We get plus 12 at the very end. So now I'm going to take this quadratic here and multiply that by my last bracket. We've got 2x squared minus 11x plus 12. And we times that by x minus 3. So again, I'm just going to use the grid method to evaluate this product here. So I'm going to write this as 2x squared minus 11x and 12. And then down this column here, we're going to get x and minus 3. We get x and minus 3 there. So evaluating all these multiplications here, all these products I should say. X times 2x squared, that will give me 2x cubed. X times minus 11x, that will give me minus 11x squared. Or minus 11x squared. X times 12, that will give me 12x. We've then got minus 3 times 2x squared. That will give me minus 6x squared. We've then got minus 3 times minus 11x here. So again, just be very careful with those signs. That's going to give me 33x. And then finally, minus 3 times 12. That will give me minus 36 there. So now if we just simplify here, I'm going to get 2x cubed. We get 2x cubed, and then got minus 6x squared, minus 11x squared here. That will give me minus 17x squared. We've then got a 33x plus 12x. That will give me 45x. And then finally, we've got minus 36 there. Okay. And then we have it, so that's our solution. So if you expand these three brackets here, you should get this cubic here. Okay. So there we have it. So that's our solution to question 3. Moving on to question 4 now, we're asked to show that this product here, these three brackets, is equal to 2x cubed plus 13x squared minus 8x minus 7 for all values of x. So this question looks a little bit different because it normally would say expand and simplify. But for this one here, it's a show that. So we've got these three brackets here. We want to show that we can write it like this. So in other words, it's just simply an expand and simplify question. It's just worded a little bit different. So to begin with here, if I take my first two brackets and multiply those together. So x plus 7 times 2x plus 1. Obviously, the good thing about this question is we know what we should be getting here for our solution. If we get something different to that, then obviously we just need to reevaluate our working. Okay. So if we begin with evaluating these two brackets here, again, I'm just going to use the grid method to do this. We're going to get x and 7 here along the top. And then down this column here, we're going to get 2x and 1. Okay, so we'll get something that looks like this. So 2x times x, that will give me 2x squared. 2x times 7, that will give me 14x. We get 14x there. 1 times x would give me x. And then 1 times 7 would give me 7. So all we want to do now is simplify this here. So I'm going to get 2x squared. I've then got x plus 14x. That's going to be 15x. And then finally, we've got plus 7 here. Okay. So, like we've done for the previous three questions, now we take this quadratic here and multiply that with the last bracket. We've got 2x squared plus 15x plus 7. And multiplying that with our last bracket here, which is x minus 1. So again, getting a bit repetitive, but you get the idea. Just using the grid method here. So I'm going to get 2x squared, 15x, and positive 7. So my column here will be x and minus 1. Okay, so find all the products here. I've got x times 2x squared. That'll give me 2x cubed. We've then got x times 15x. That's going to be 15x squared. So all we did there was x times 15x, give me 15x squared. We then got x times 7, that would be 7x. We then got 2x, try again, minus 1 times 2x squared, that'll be minus 2x squared. Minus 2x squared there. Minus 1 times 15x, that's going to be minus 15x. And then finally, minus 1 times 7, which would give us minus 7. And what we'd hope here is when we simplify this now, we get this cubic here. Okay? We're going to get 2x cubed. We get 2x cubed to begin with. We've then got minus 2x squared plus 15x squared, or minus 2x squared plus 15x squared. That gives us 13x squared. We've then got minus 15x plus 7x. So minus 15x plus 7x, that would give us minus 8x. We get minus 8x there. And then finally, minus 7. Okay. And we just double check this here. We start with 2x cubed. We get 2x cubed as well, so that's good. We then get 13x squared. They also have 13x squared. Minus 8x, and then finally minus 7 and minus 7. So that's perfect. So we just put for all values of x, what we need to simply put there at the end. And that's the question done there. Okay, so there we have it. So that's our solution to question 4. And finally, if we take a look at the very last question here, we've got a cube which has side length of 2x plus 1 centimeters. And we're asked to find an algebraic expression for the volume of the cube. Now, you don't have to, but it is up to you. If you want to draw a diagram that might help with this, I'm not going to do it for the sake of this question. I don't think it's necessary. What we're being asked for here is relatively straightforward. We just need to break this down a little bit. So we've got a cube here which has a side length of 2x plus 1 centimeters. So if we think about this here, for the volume then of this cube, V can be length times width times height. Okay. Now because this is a cube and we know the side length here is algebraic, but that doesn't matter. So the volume here then is going to be 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1. So in other words, that's going to be 2x plus 1 cubed. Okay. In that case then, my volume here, I can express that as a product of 3 brackets. So that's going to be 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1, and finally times 2x plus 1. Okay. All I need to do here now is expand and simplify these 3 brackets here. Okay. So obviously because they're all the same, it doesn't matter which 2 we pick. So if I do 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1, well, in that case here, using the grid method, I'm going to get 2x plus 1 along the top, so 2x and 1. And then the same here down the side, we get 2x and 1. Okay, so finding the products here, 2x times 2x, that would give me 4x squared. We get 4x squared there. 2x times 1, that would give me 2x. 2x times 1 again, that will simply give us 2x again. And then finally, 1 times 1 will give us 1. So if we just simplify this here, we get 4x squared. 2x plus 2x is 4x. And then finally, we get the 1 here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this quadratic here and multiply that with our last bracket, which is obviously going to be 2x plus 1. So if we do that over here, I've got 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. And I times that by my last bracket, which is 2x plus 1. So now if we just evaluate this product here, again, just using the grid method, along the top I'm going to get 4x squared, 4x, and 1. And then down the side here, we're going to get 2x and 1. Okay. So 2x times 4x squared, that will give me 8x cubed. We get 8x cubed there. 2x times 4x, that's going to be 8x. Oh, sorry, 8x squared. nearly made a silly little mistake there. And then finally 2x times 1 would give us 2x. We've then got 1 times 4x squared, so that's 4x squared. We've then got 1 times 4x, that's going to be 4x. And then finally 1 times 1 will give us 1 there. Okay, let's just quickly double check that because I'm always cautious when I nearly make a mistake. So 2x times 4x squared, 8x cubed. 2x times 4x, 8x squared. 2x times 1 is 2x, that's perfect. 1 times 4x squared, 4x squared. 1 times 4x is 4x, and then finally 1 times 1 giving us 1. So that's perfect. What we need to do now is just simplify this here. So we just do it underneath. So therefore 4x squared plus 4x plus 1 times 2x plus 1 is equal to 8x cubed. We get 8x cubed, 4x squared plus 8x squared, so that's going to be 12x squared. We've then got 4x plus 2x, so that's going to be 6x. And then finally, we get the plus 1 here. Okay. And there we have it, so that's our solution. So that's the volume there, the algebraic expression for the volume. So this is equal to V. Okay, or V is equal to this expression here. Okay. And there we have it, so that's our solution to the very last question. And that brings us to the end of this video on exam revision for expanding triple brackets. So in the next video, we're going to take a look at an introduction to parallel and perpendicular lines.